Hello, welcome everyone to another exciting edition of Last Stop Penn Station presents the poster of the week. Ian Riccaboni, Cary Silkin, our producer AJ from Basan Creative and Web Design, bringing it to you right here exclusively on adfreeshows.com. Thanks for checking us out this week. And Cary, you wouldn't give me any clues to this one. There's some residual pressing. I'm trying to decipher this like it's some sort of Egyptian code.
Well, I have these nice posters that are framed, and then I have all these other posters. I just can't frame everything.
Right.
I have nowhere to put them. But this is a nice one. It's an interesting one. And when you flip it over, I'm going to guess, unless you're cheating, you're not going to you're not going to know what year this is. But you're pretty sharp, so go ahead.
All right. Well, I got it last week.
Yes, you did. And you get it most weeks. You're very close.
Yeah.
Oh, this is,
wow. Okay.
I should have said, talk about,
This is beautiful.
it is beautiful,
Yeah.
but talk about misspellings and grammatical mistakes.
And nicknames that people never use.
Right. This is a Tommy D special. Now, the other one we did had his name on it. It had Tommy D, but matchmaker Arnold Skolin.
Yeah.
Well, this is another Tommy D show at the beautiful Franklin K. Lane High School in Brooklyn on 999 Jamaica Avenue.
All right.
And what's the date?
It's Thursday, November 19th. So we're coming into Thanksgiving time. And it's 8 p.m. Unlike, we're starting to move the clock back. I think they're getting savvy that, hey, maybe the kids can come out if we move it a half hour
It's during the week.
Yeah. But the tickets are going up, Cary. I don't like this. The tickets, this is more expensive than the garden. The tickets are now $7 and $5.
Well, at the very, very bottom, the poster was printed
Oh, wow.
in Baltimore at, what is it, Globe Poster?
Globe Poster, yeah. And it's got an area code and everything.
Yeah.
You don't normally see this in the posters with the area code.
$7 and $5, just like our last week's poster with 5 and 3.
Right?
You'd figure they would have a middle price.
Yeah. Or a kid's price. I like the Florida ones. The kids were either reduced or free. We've seen that. These colors are beautiful, though. This is just very intriguing. Oh, and I just saw a hilarious error.
There's a tons of errors. We're going to get to those. Why don't you tell the folks where the tickets were on sale?
Sure. You can get them at the Frank Lane High School box office, which is the general office. So that makes sense.
Well, and I know that looking at this, I'm like, FK, so they must
FK Lane.
at the school in that neighborhood, in that part of Brooklyn, it must have been common that, where do you go to high school? I go to FK.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. FK.
Or maybe they just didn't have enough,
They got some real estate, some other, they might fit it. But also Long's Ice Cream Parlor on Fulton Street, Truckner's Hardware Store on Jamaica Avenue. And that used to be a thing. The True Value used to sell some tickets. They had a little ticket master thing here, I think. Or maybe they just used to sell them under the table.
Well, it just seems odd. They must have known must have been a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
You go to the hardware store, or you go to the ice cream parlor in November.
Right. Yeah.
But they had the tickets, or you go to the school. Now, there's 2 other exciting matches.
Exciting bouts, yeah. What do you have?
Yes, I do.
All right. What?
I was speaking of exciting. I was so excited to see who's in the other matches.
I'm gonna guess there's a name people are love based on these other names. I'm gonna guess Eddie Graham's on these cards, or not Eddie Graham, Eddie Gilbert. Excuse me.
Good guess, but incorrect.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's all right. And this is WWF.
Right. Would you like to guess the year, please?
Well, if Martel and Guerrero are on the card, they won the belts in 81.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. Is it 81?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
You got it. So there were 2 other matches.
2 exciting matches.
And there was, often, although we don't really see this, correct me if I'm wrong, have we ever seen cards subject to change?
No, we haven't seen that in many of the previous ones.
Boys and girls, that would mean that if these matches that you're buying a ticket for are not as advertised, if there's, that they have the right to change the matches, and you can't say, I want my money back.
Sure. And we know, having been here, there's weather, there's emergencies, there's legitimate reasons why someone might not be able to make the show, the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But someone might say, hey,
I paid to see Irish Davey O'Hannon.
Right,
He's not
there. I want my money back. Give me my $5 back, please. Well, the two matches that were not advertised, one of them, two guys that good old Ron Shaw.
Okay, yeah.
He took on pretty much lifetime WWF. His whole career was in WWF. Baron Mikel Cicluna.
Yeah.
He Cicluna wrestled at the Garden like 60, 70 times.
Yeah.
There's some ledger in the back of the beautiful Madison Square Garden book that shows you the amount of times guys were on shows.
Amazing.
He's right up there. But as Conrad likes to say, this next match tickled me.
Yeah.
Now, it was a guy I never heard of. Never. Jerry Johnson.
Never, yeah. And I've watched all those TVs. I don't remember seeing Jerry Johnson.
Well, after a 5-year layoff,
no,
they called the Chinese Laundry and said, Lee,
we need you.
You want to make $25?
We need you.
Sure, I do. The great Lee Wong.
And this would have been a home game. This is Brooklyn. This is his time to shine.
Our good friend George Napolitano, the great photographer, used to pick up, we've talked about this on Last Stop Penn Station and probably the post week. George used to pick up Frankie Williams, Lee Wong, and somebody else who they lived in Brooklyn, and he would drive them to Philadelphia or to Allentown or to Hamburg for the TV tapings.
Yeah.
In this case, Lee Wong probably just took the train.
Maybe just walked. Yeah, he could have walked maybe. I don't know. Brooklyn's huge. I don't want to, Brooklyn's gigantic.
He rode a bicycle.
He could have rode his bike, yeah.
So you have the great Wong Johnson bout.
I'm 34 years old, everybody.
I didn't say Wang.
Yeah.
All right, now.
And do we have a winner? Did Lee Wong had to have won?
Jerry Johnson defeated Lee Wong.
No.
Yes.
No.
Lee Wong only won like 2 matches in his career. And Baron Cicluna won a clean win against Ron Shaw.
Makes sense.
Now, I think we did another poster where they had an Irish grudge match.
They had an Irish grudge match, yeah.
Well, this time it was just a special. See that? It's a special grudge match.
Special grudge match. And it's Irish Davey O'Hannon versus popular Manuel Soto.
Now, how many people saw the poster and said, ooh, that Manuel Soto's popular. I'm going to buy a ticket.
Yeah, I could see.
It's cool.
I could see somebody saying, Irish. Ooh, I'm Irish. Or if they would have advertised Manuel Soto, I believe he's from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
So if they would have said, Puerto Rican sensation, Manuel Soto, I might buy a ticket to see him. But
I'm going to predict that you can get the result that you're going to call the exact result of this match, of this special grudge match.
This would have had to been a draw.
Very good.
When they advertise a grudge match, it gets thrown
that
out.
Probably set up for that Irish grudge match.
This one got thrown out.
Okay, but this is real. This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
What do we have for the Intercontinental title match, which people would have bought tickets for?
Sure, because Don Morocco, who is listed as Dom, D-O-M, right. Morocco, he was usually a headliner. I mean,
absolutely,
he was a headliner even when Backlund would be in one town. He might be in a smaller town, draw pretty decent houses. He's facing Kurt Hennig, whose name is spelled with a K.
Can you look above that?
Rookie. Rookie is spelled R-O-O-K-Y. I'm surprised. Rookie. I'm genuinely
surprised. Producer AJ's laughing.
Genuinely surprised they got sensation correct. because they got Kurt and Henning wrong. Right. So Henning, no third N. It's just
how is it spelled properly?
Curt and then Hennig. Kurt Henning.
Right. So they got both parts wrong. This is fun though because 81 is very early for Kurt Hennig. Very early. Well, bad news for the fans who came to see this Henning, who was he was a rookie, but he was good. He was getting wins on TV.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he didn't. Something happened.
Oh no!
And when I tell you who subbed for him, you would think they would have put in,
Eddie Gilbert, because he was
maybe
new like him
even
too.
One of the Strongbows.
Sure, Jules.
Right. No. You got a 60-year-old Tony Altomori.
Wow. Wow. What a treat.
Now, we've covered Tony Altomori a lot because, Lou Albano and Tony Altomori, the Sicilians.
Right.
We had that nice poster of them dressed up.
The pinstripes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fedora.
Yeah.
So, and that was like from 1958. This is 81. Tony Altomori, folks, was there as the bag man. So when you see Arnold Scolin's name, when you see Altomori or Gorilla Monsoon,
right,
these were the guys that took the cash and were trusted to bring it to the office with a proper count. So when Kurt Hennig for whatever reason, wasn't able to make it, you know what? I have the two cards before this, which before we get to the main event, I could read real quick. The day before, at Freehold Township High School,
the home of Bruce Springsteen was there. And he loves wrestling, maybe, yeah. And he wasn't touring in 81. So who knows?
There you go. Yeah. So real quick, Ron Shaw pinned Angelo Gomez. Baron Cicluna pinned Jerry Johnson, who got that win over Long.
Yeah.
Kurt Hennig was there.
Wow.
He defeated Larry Sharp via disqualification.
Wow.
Martel and Gurria beat Mosca and Brower. They probably were working out the kinks.
Yeah.
And Bob Backlund was there in Freehold, defended the title, and he defeated Morocco on that show.
Those are good matches.
Right.
There's one of those out there, yeah.
The next day, the 20th, in Winstead, Connecticut.
I don't know where that is.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Jose Estrada defeated Tony Altomore.
Okay.
Hans Schroeder.
Oh, wow. That's a blast from the past. Yeah.
Went to a draw with Johnny Roz. The Haiti Kid defeated Little Boy Blue.
Well, I believe is one of Jim Cornette's favorites.
Right.
He's mentioned Little Boy Blue before.
Jim Cornette says he spelled his last name Blew.
Oh,
and Fuji and Saito defeated Danusi and Jones, and Tony Atlas defeated Greg Valentine. Point being, the aforementioned talent, unless there was another show on November 19th, Valentine, Atlas, Backlund were off. There was probably another show, but it's just not listed.
It could have been. Which
takes us to the main event. Would you please read the how they wanted to get you to buy a ticket?
Sure. Main event. Old-fashioned tag team brawl, 2 out of 3 falls.
Old-fashioned. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and you got 2 old-fashioned guys on the left for how progressive the Martel Gurria tag team was, because Gurria's in his 30s here, and Martel's very young. Martel's probably 24 or 25.
Right, Mr. Canada.
Mr. Canada, and we'd be remiss to note.
You love that.
Mr. Hollywood, Tony Gurria from Auckland, New Zealand.
Right. But they build him as Mr. Hollywood in Brooklyn. And you're taking on Bulldog Brower, who is absolutely at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But he still was imposing. You ever see him on?
Yeah, he had 1 match against Backlund. I don't think it was at the Garden. Might have.
Maybe.
I think the Spectrum at the very least. And Mosca they brought in. He was on TV a lot, and they really hyped up his matches against Backlund. But I don't know that I've ever seen it. I don't know if that made tape. I think they wrestled at the Garden.
I'd have to look it up. You might be right. But Angelo Mosca, the miser.
Yeah.
You know about that, right?
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of thrifty wrestlers, but you don't get the nickname the miser for nothing. But anyway, a 2 out of 3 fall. Let me see the results. Geez. Garea and Martel, they defeated him. It doesn't say the order, but probably went 3 falls.
Yeah.
They gave him a fall. But a little disappointing to have Tony Altamore come in. You're expecting a young, vibrant Kurt Hennig.
Who they were showing on TV.
Right.
They were giving him wins. They were talking about how he's the son of Larry the Axe and this and that. And even this, Garea and Martel were facing Fuji and Saito at this point. So it's great to see the tag champs or the former tag champs at this point. But
yes, and I failed to mention when I was reading the day after that Fuji and Saito, when they defeated Danusi and Jones, they had the tag team belts.
Yeah. So it's a shame that you just didn't get a return match.
You know this stuff. You think Garea and Martel, they had the belts at some point.
They did. Right? I think it was in March of 81.
Okay.
I think that's when they won them in Allentown.
Beautiful poster. Beautiful. You don't see yellow and blue.
No, and it's nice. It's very nice. This would catch my eye if I was driving down the street. This is good craftsmanship out of Globe Poster of Baltimore.
And the interesting wrestling font. Not the squiggly one, but
that's pretty standard too.
Right. But it's like, what are you talking about, Cary? It just says wrestling. It's just a certain font that they use that you often see. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this treasured poster.
Yeah, this is very cool. This is of kind of an unsung era in WWF, or the transitioning to WWF. They really only had like 15 guys at this point, which makes the TV interesting because you usually see everybody every week if you go back and watch.
I wonder if any of the managers would, probably not.
Probably not to travel. I don't think Captain Lou would have been there for Don Morocco.
You had Lou Albano, you had Freddie Blassie, and you had the Grand Wizard.
Yeah.
But they usually would only be at the big shows.
Yeah.
And they would come out and rarely stood at ringside.
They usually
were dangerous. It was dangerous.
They'd usually leave at the Garden.
Oh, yeah.
They'd come out and, they'd go back. So, yeah, this was a very cool one from an era that doesn't get talked out a lot about in the WWF. So thank you, Cary, for sharing this one.
You're welcome.
I'm sure we have a fun one next week. So on behalf of AJ, our producer, Cary, and myself, we want to encourage you to check out more of Cary and I on the 55 and 5 series. The audio exclusives are right here on Ad Free Shows for free. We also have the videos at 55in5.com. Cary and I's podcast, Last Stop Penn Station, drops every Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. And come back next week to check out another Last Stop Penn Station Presents, the Poster of the Week. Happy wrestling, everybody.